episode of Bagged and Board. I am Vlad St. Valentine. Sitting next to me is the host with the Ramosis, Mr. Caidan Ramos.
How you doing?
Better than microphone, man.
Yeah.
Take out your anger and hatred on it, do you?
No, it's better than you.
That is true. Have it the microphone. I am tired of being your punching bag. So we're here today talking about the very special Venom 200, well, Venom 35, but 200 in the legacy numbering, because we only pay attention to that whenever moments like this come up, because God knows Marvel and DC can't kind of keep a comic book going long enough to actually hit that mark on its own. Although, you know, Batman 2016, it did pass its 100.
Mm-hmm.
So it may make it. It may make it.
Because we know he does it. Everybody knows he does it. What do you think the ears are there for? Guidance.
You think Batman has Munchausen's disease? You know, I heard that the entire Wayne Manor had to be retiled because Batman kept eating the carpet.
Makes sense.
I did hear some of the villains did respond to the news about Batman, though. Poison Ivy was quoted saying, well, fuck, if he won't, I will. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
Mr. Freeze, you don't want any of that.
No. Yeah. Not unless you want like an Ann Coulter Coochie that's just frosted over.
It's just going to get stuck. Like on a telephone pole. Just...
Oh, yeah. Just like that scene from Christmas Story. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Hey, if you go down on Catwoman, is that like Inception style because you're eating the I was like, yo, man, I heard you like Conolingus, so.
It's funny because the penguin likes because then you get hit.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That nose goes right on in.
Yep.
I'm just picturing the Burgess Meredith penguin too. He still has the cigarette holder, but he doesn't matter because he's just using his nose. You bum rack. That was time now.
He doesn't spank, he just burns.
Think that's how she does herself. Just only half of Harvey Dent likes to do it. I'll let you just debate which half. Now, Scarecrow does not, but his toxin can be used as a good
Really just won't stop asking questions.
Robin said he would, but he's never seen one before.
Which Robin?
Doesn't
Damien?
matter. It doesn't matter, man. You can take that joke to all of them. But yeah, Damien. Damien's never seen one before. He's also like 12, isn't he?
Something like that, yeah.
So let's hope he's not seen one before. That'd be irresponsible. Then again, it's not like he's got responsible parents watching out for him anyway. So,
Unlike Eddie Brock.
That's good. That's a good transition, man. I like that. It was nice. Unlike Eddie Brock, who now in this episode, because this is our denouement issue, because we got really our closure at the end of 34 and the end of King in Black. And now Eddie is the hive mind. He has freed all the symbiotes where they can serve him freely, you know, and part of the hive, but he's
Omnipresent.
So that's where the state Venom's at. He's having a conversation with Peter Parker, who's having a hard time dealing with the changes and stuff. And he's having a meeting with the Avengers. And this is all just a nice real wrap up. And honestly, there's not a whole lot to talk about in the book. I mean, it's a long ass book, but this is mostly just a nice little like, hey man, if you've loved Eddie Brock for a long time, you can jump off the train now. I mean, I'm sure they're going to keep him going and doing stuff, but like, you can just jump on off. This is a nice landing for him. I mean, I've been around since when was Eddie? We've been around as long as Venom's been around.
Yeah.
And you know, he's one of my favorite characters for as long as I can remember him existing.
Yeah, it was a great concept to begin with, and like you said, it's a great stopping point for Eddie's story.
And that's me. And I'm one of those people that hates it when you guys swap out characters for the new iterations. Like, their kids are going to take it over because no one fucking cares, man. No one cares about Franklin Richards. We don't give two damns about Franklin Richards. But you know what we would like to see? Maybe the Fantastic Four do something, you know, cool in comic books again, other than marrying off Doom. I just like, man, how sad was Doom sitting there looking at his like guest list, and his wife's like, I've got my whole friends and family coming. Who are you inviting? He's like, shit. I would fight that infernal Reed. but I'm not giving him his option of fish or chicken. He'll eat the fish. All right. But it turns out that Reed's like a pescatarian, so it actually just works
he
out
likes
for him.
fish, yeah.
Yeah, and just curse you, Reed!
Foiled again. Did you rip your mask, honey? No, I don't need that foil.
Spot checking the mask with tinfoil. By the end of the night, he just looks like Leftover the Swan. Dylan, this is a lot of personal stuff. There's not a whole lot of action going on here. We're just seeing how Brock is dealing with transitioning to this near godhood.
And then nothing all at the same time.
Yeah, it's like the Seinfeld of Venom episodes here. Except for there's not a blatant racist. Although Jack-O-Lantern continues being the coolest looking punchline character out there.
Yeah. I like that, his little cameo in this.
So, all right, we'll run down what happens here in this book. Because again, like we're saying, it's just Eddie Brock is his body is aging rapidly because the force and strain that assuming the powers of Noel, is done to him. And he kind of says, hopefully in time I can kind of control it and not be, deteriorating. But like, I kind of got the sense that they were burning him out and we were going to be done with that pretty soon. Like his body's just going to give out on him.
Yeah. And that's what his other says. He's like, Eddie, you have nothing to prove. We got this. We can handle it.
Yeah. He's like, the new mission is because the Venom symbiote, which, he's like, Dylan's the mission now. I'm going to protect Dylan. And because Dylan has powers taken from him at the end of King in Black. So he's just a human, but he's still a young kid with a lot of rage and confusion because he's not the person he was. He doesn't have a mom.
Mm-hmm.
His dad was his brother. And now he's his dad. And he was a world-ending godlike, being for 5 seconds. And now it's all been taken away from him. He's getting beat up by the jocks in school, just like Spider-Man did by Flash Thompson, who is also in this book. We're showing the cycle end and start again in this book. And they did it really well because you're seeing the jocks bully the new kid who's having to deal with having lost his powers and who he is. And then by the end of this,
figuring out what he wants to do with it.
Well, gaining new powers.
Yeah.
And now he's going to have to basically be a teenager who has to be responsible with these powers, like Peter Parker. And then he's got his bullies, and maybe one day that bully will turn into be a Flash Thompson. We got Flash Thompson, his wrapping up the stuff, or not wrapping up stuff. We brought him back, and he's,
he's
got his chance of redemption
Avengers
one more time. I liked everything in this book. I like where they wrapped everything up for us, and they set up enough stuff where if you wanted to keep going, you can keep going. If you don't really need to. But the symbiote we call Venom, we think of as Venom, as Dylan points out, he's like, we're not, he's like, what do I call you? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, you're not Venom. You and my dad are Venom, which totally kind of undermines every time someone else wore that symbiote and called themselves Venom.
Yeah.
Because the symbiote's like, all right, fucking whatever you want to call yourself, dickhead, I guess. Because like what they said here was really beautiful, but it doesn't really translate to, it kind of retcons everyone else's name because it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
What the symbiote says in this scene is complete bullshit because it's never worked that way, but it's a beautiful sentiment. Bad writing for that point. Good writing because it was lovely. So, but here's the thing. I have to be consistent. Just because I liked it doesn't mean I shouldn't complain about it because I complain about this kind of crap usually because it's usually story breaking. This doesn't really matter because the only thing it affects is the fact that everyone else who's put that symbiote on has called themselves Venom at the same time. But ultimately, that doesn't really matter. That could just be them going, I associate that name with this suit, so I'm going to take on the mantle.
Yeah.
You can explain it away. You didn't. I had to do it for you, which is, again, bad writing, but it's okay. You've done so good up to this point. And there's a lot of shit in here, a lot of fluff in here to fill up all these pages, but it wasn't bad fluff. And I'm not getting on you too much, I promise.
And it's another point, too, to that as well. When Dylan asked him for his name, and he's like, nobody's ever asked me that before. So... anybody else who's worn it has never asked him what his name is or what they would be called wearing it.
That's a good point. All right. I retract half of my sentiment. I'm still not convinced completely.
Well, I'm only listening to half his opinion.
Yeah, we do have the lovely scene where he does ask him his name, and he's like, well, we exist on an emotional resonance. He's like, well, can I feel your emotional resonance in your name? And it's like a nice little heartwarming bonding moment between the two of them. But as Dylan points out, it's like, you and my dad are Venom. You're not Venom by yourselves. You're both Venom. Goes home and sees a woman getting mugged by Jack-o'-lantern, who's, again, just like, he's like all the other glider throw and pumpkin bomb thrower people have moved on to like mass murdering and like coming back as like demons from hell and like running corporations and this, that, and the other. And he is still just mugging people in the streets. Like, that guy is pathetic with a capital P, man.
Yeah, but you had Norman Osborn who had the money to build a glider. He just got his stuff from a closed down Spirit Halloween.
I know. He stole the glider and the pumpkin bombs for like a storage unit, kind of hobgoblin-y, didn't he? Because I don't think he's the first Jack-o'-lantern. I think the first Jack-o'-lantern became the first hobgoblin or something like that, or the second or third hobgoblin or some shit. But it's a cool character. But he's always been super lame. And I'm pretty sure I thought he got his head blown up during Civil War too. I thought Punisher blew his fucking head off.
Maybe it was the other one. Who knows how many Jack-o'-lanterns there?
Yes, we read comic books where there's a million of them, and basically you contradict yourselves every other week as to what's happening. So trying to keep this shit straight is about as likely as George R. R. Martin finishing A Song of Ice and Fire.
You know which comic book doesn't do that though?
Which comic book doesn't do that?
Stray Dogs.
Hey, man. It's a good read.
Yep.
Check it out. But this one ends with, this one, Eddie warns about the upcoming crisis, which is the Maker. Is it the Maker or the Master?
The Maker.
I thought, why would we call him the Master? Because of Doctor Who, that's why. The Maker, the insane Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe, evil Reed Richards, has apparently found a council of Ricks, or council of Reeds, that is like, we'll induct you if you go do something nefarious. And so he's going to try and reinstitute the Ultimate Universe, which for the Iron Man costume design alone is a terrible fucking idea. And he's going to try and re-kickstart his failed universe and take over the regular Marvel universe. So it's like NWO or style at takeover, except for it's going to be more of like a WCW invades WWE style takeover, and that it's not going to be successful. Everyone's going to fucking hate it.
Well, no, the casual fan, the hardcore fans are going to hate it. The casual fans will love it because it's Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it is. It is Rick and Morty.
They have their own comics. They have their own comics universe.
Yeah, but to be fair, the Rick and Morty comics suck. I read one of them and it was like, oh, this isn't funny at all. Oh, because it's not actually written by anyone who's got anything to do with Rick and Morty. Okay, yeah, these aren't funny. These suck. Sorry, Rick and Morty writers. Y'all aren't funny. I said that it's probably like writers from the TV show on a side gig. Well, it's like, you need the rest of your damn team then or something, because it's not that funny. Without the Justin Roiland, plus written down, it's not as funny.
Yeah, a lot of it is the voice.
Improv.
Yeah.
Just how you say it, yeah. Sorry. I know you're gonna like a Rick and Morty hate mob after me or something. Be taken out in the streets and drowned in Szechuan shots by virgins. It's
fine. They're starting to become the new ICP crowd.
What's that?
So they're starting to become the new ICP crowd, and I'm hating it.
Oh no,
hating it all.
I mean, I'll tell you the same thing about Rick and Morty. I say about Christianity. I refuse to let the shitty fan club ruin my good time.
The Rick and Morty brand and personality takeovers, it's done.
No, yeah, the whole you gotta be a genius to watch this show and understand. It's like, no, you don't. It's a show where he literally sang a song about doo-doo butts and like his daughter being a poop from a guy's butt. Like, I know they put little clever science things in the background that makes you people who are science-minded feel clever, but
you don't need to be a genius. You just need a joint.
The Maker is going to be our new global threat after Null, which is kind of like, all right, that's cool. But, Null was a kind of an apocalypse level event. So after those things happen, you're kind of like, you just finished and you're laying in the afterglow of it all. And someone's like, you want to go again? You're like, maybe in 5 minutes, but I'm not going to lie to you. My heart's just not going to be into it. That's exactly what this is. That's what the next stage of the MCU is. Like,
what this is.
Well, I mean, the stuff coming afterwards. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What this is equivalent to is getting to that year point in your car insurance and then realizing that, hey, there's another threat coming to New York and you have to start your deductible all over again. Do I move? I just got through having to claim all this insurance stuff. Next month, my deductible is going to go back to the beginning, and I don't know if I can risk that financially.
Look, man, if you live in some advice for you people living in comic book universes, don't. And then also, if you live in a major city, your New York's and your Marvel or your Gotham and your Metropolis in DC, just move the fuck away. I don't think anyone still lives in Gotham anymore.
Or become an insurance salesman.
Ooh, yeah. Reggie, you will clean up.
Yep. He's not going to watch this.
He's not going to watch this. I'm leaving this in so you can hear us talk shit about him. That's right, Reggie. You'll never know until I tell you about this. This one does end, though, with villain taking on the mantle of Venom, because while he's in the alleyway trying to stop Jack-o'-lantern, the symbiote goes to attack Jack, who fires off, and it goes right through the symbiote, hitting Dylan, and the only way to save him was for the symbiote to bond with him. And then, I don't know, does he kill Jack-o'-lantern?
I think it's implied, because it's just that big-ass scream in that cityscape.
Yeah, because again, Dylan was so full. He's such an angry kid, and maybe just killing this motherfucker was cathartic. I mean, it could be. I don't know. I've never killed a motherfucker, so I couldn't tell you.
So after we kill or maybe kill Jack-o'-lantern, I don't know. He hops back through the city roofs back to his house and sitting there waiting for him as his dad, because he snuck out essentially.
I don't think he just ever went home from school.
Yeah, snuck out, whatever. Same thing, same difference.
All we get is them walking around him in the symbiote. He's like, "It's late. Eddie, you should go home, Dylan." I keep wanting to say Eddie. It's late, Dylan. You should go home. Your dad's waiting. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, but Eddie's there, and he's like, "Well, that didn't take long."
Yeah, he was actually pretty cool with his son having committed murder, and because again, he can see through the eyes of all the symbiotes, though he can't. He makes a point to say he can't see through his Venom symbiote because he had disconnected it from the hive mind when he rescued it in the King of Black series. Yeah. So essentially Dylan now becoming Venom, or taking on the symbiote, can be independent of his dad, but hopefully his dad will be more, there to guide him. So we're basically getting Batman Beyond, but in Venom form.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Venom's kind of a snitch, though.
The symbiote is a snitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. He totally tells on
Dylan. Dylan's like, "Yeah, I have some extra after school stuff," and he's like, "Nope, he's got detention."
Yeah, the new symbiote is the new form that he's taking while Dylan's meching him about is really big, and he's got the chains on the arms, kind of Spawn style. He's like, "Well, yeah, the comic books I read when I was younger." I was like, "What younger? You're 10." Yeah, in the 90s when I was 20 years ago when I was not an embryo. Because the implication, it was totally a mouthpiece for the writers. Like the stuff I read when I was a little kid had chains on it, and those were cool. Because it was true. Everything in the 90s was edgy and had chains. Mm-hmm. Go see anything. Go see Spawn. Spawn is mostly just chains and cape. I'm like, if you actually go back and read those comics, you'll notice that I'm pretty sure there might not be anything in the middle of the chains and the cape. Like very rarely do you actually see Spawn. It's mostly just chains and cape and shadow and eyes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's just some floating eyes inside of a giant cape. There might not even be a Spawn. That's a good trick, by the way, Todd. I'm gonna be an artist. This whole page is gonna be black. And there's a little bit of curly stuff, color it red. There's his cloak sticking out of the shadows, and done. Send it in. Hey man, I'm not hating on you. Game recognizes game, all right? I make some mean stick figures that I have sold for nothing. All right.
No, but we have this nice moment between Eddie and Dylan, and Dylan's like, "So, can I use the name? Since you were Venom?" And Eddie's like, "I'm not Venom. You're not Venom. We are Venom. It's a teamwork together, family type thing." So.
Now, I know you have to be up in the morning and you've been out all day long and are recovering from a bullet wound, but go get him, Tiger. Yeah,
he says that there's a robbery in place, and he's asked Dylan if he's ready. He goes, I guess so.
Sure, why not, man? Why not, Eds? Send your underage kid out there to make life and death decisions in a split second. All I'm saying is maybe wait a night before starting the venture. Maybe.
Yeah, he hasn't got back home and done his homework yet.
Oh, that's some terrible fucking parenting.
Mm-hmm.
You're a terrible parent, Eddie. It's a cool moment, but like in retrospect, when you examine it a little bit, you're like, maybe give it a month.
Yeah.
Just give it a little bit. Maybe train him a little bit. Maybe
Show him how to use it a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess they're starting out tame. He's not sitting after world beaters. He's like, go stop a robbery. But at the same time, like, those people have bullets and shit can happen.
Yeah. Like he could get shot. Oh, wait, he did.
My punk ass D-list are like Jack-o'-lantern too. All right. Anything else?
No, it was a good story. I like it was aptly named Swan Song very well by Greg Horn.
Yes, and I can't wait to get that copy in.
Yes.
This was a good, nice little palate cleansing finish. It had some like self-indulgent eyebrow raising moments, but they kind of, I don't know. I guess they earned it. They've done a good job. So let them indulge a little bit in this, and don't be too harsh on it, I suppose.
Well,
So-
it wasn't just Donny and Ryan writing this, though. There was multiple writers writing different parts of it.
Yeah. Yep. You could tell.
Yeah.
No, this was a good little wrap up for us. I can complain about some nitpicky crap, but ultimately it's not bad. Enjoy the ride.
Mhm.
Good little ending. It sets up some stuff for the people who take over next to do their thing. But it wasn't so overwhelmingly distracting that you didn't feel a nice feeling of contentment and closure by the end of this.
Mhm.
So we'll see how it goes though. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Please like, subscribe, check out our social media. I think we do something with that like once a month, maybe. I don't know. And I don't know. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Say howdy, mother, for me. Phone, call the Pope. He's got a booth too, just built into that hat. All right.
Oh yeah, there's built-in headphones in there.
Yeah, the only people who get the direct line to are those fucking thirst traps he keeps sending like thumbs up to on Instagram. God, I love Papa Franco. Trying to conjure Johnny Depp. I gotta pour out some wine.